Hello there everybody, how's it going and how have you been? Welcome back to SpaceChem. In the last episode we finished off the 63 Corvi DLC pack and now it is off to the ResearchNet. We are definitely not going to be doing these, very difficult, very in-depth sort of levels. Instead, we're going to scroll all the way back to the beginning and I'm going to show off the original introduction of the quantum tunnels, because as I mentioned last time, ResearchNet came packaged with the game, whereas 63 Corvi released later, so this would have been the true first time you would have interacted with the quantum tunnels. And we're going to explore the fission process as well. Now, quick overview on how to read a level in the ResearchNet. This circle up here is empty if you have not completed a level, but it gets a little check mark when you are done, when you have. So it's a quick way for you to see what levels you have and have not yet completed. And then these wedges denote the difficulty of the level. So a circle with one wedge is very easy, a circle with two is going to be kind of difficult, and a circle with three is probably going to be pretty tough. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start right here. I am going to be trying to do all 6 of these levels, and that's because they are pretty simple, just to introduce the 2 concepts that were not used anywhere in the game at this point. So, we already know how our quantum tunnels work because of the 63 Corvi DLC. So, I'm going to do this for blue. Now, he will be running into a wall, but consequently he will be constantly triggering the output command. And let me just set it to the correct one. So red just has to call in the nitrogen gas, grab it, just because I want to. Red will now move to the side, send the first nitrogen atom through, which will then immediately be scored because of blue, send the one he's holding through, and then come back around to the beginning. So, I expect these quantum tunnels are going to proceed pretty quickly just because we've already been used to them and I don't really have to explain them at all because of the 63 Corvi DLC. So in fact, let's just hit speed 3. There we go. Get that one out of the way. Now, in this one, I think I'm going to do something similar with blue. It'll just be constantly triggering the omega output, and I don't want the other quantum tunnel there. One thing that differentiates ResearchNet from the Mustachium levels and the 63 Corvi DLC is that you are allowed to use flip-flop in here. Primarily because the ResearchNet unlocks once you've completed the level where you're introduced to flip-flop. So, again, excluding the 63 Corvi DLC, flip-flop is the last instruction tool you're introduced to over the course of the game. So at that point, you are familiar with everything that can be used in a puzzle, so it's okay for you to go and explore the user-made ones. Now, I don't know if I'm really going to need him. I think I might. But the idea I've got to complete this one is to simply do that. Have red drop the carbon atom down, send it out, and go back around to start. And just to save the most minuscule amount of time. There we go. Now in this case, by having red orbit this end of the quantum tunnel, he will swap away all the... Swap away? That was a weird way to pronounce that. He will send away all of the hydrogen atoms. Because blue is constantly triggering omega, they all disappear immediately. And then he just delivers the stripped away carbon atom to psi. So And there we go. Now, for this one. And this one is going to be somewhat difficult. Because bonders do not link to quantum tunnels, so you can't... At least, my initial idea is to warp away the center silicon atom from the fragment, and then warp in the arsenic. Although, as I say that, I know I can warp away the silicon. And, yeah, wow, that was a sudden, almost too early brain surge of idea. Brain surge of idea. Oh. English very good. Okay. So red calls in the fragment, warps away the center silicon, and then sure, he can send it out as he's moving down to here. Now, I think I'm going to need him to sync up with blue. And these two Waldos are going to have to do a little bit of a dance. So, red syncs, and then he makes a bond, and makes a bond. Blue, after the sync, calls in the arsenic atom. So, what timing it like this should do is that on the very same cycle where red moves the hole in the silicon fragment over this spot, blue will pop an arsenic atom in, and then consequently it will get bonded to the silicon fragment, and so it will move with the rest of it and not bang into the inside of the ring. It should connect it to the other side along the horizontal axis. Then red can just flip it this way and drop it for blue. Then go back around to start. Blue, let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's gonna have to be backed up just a little bit. I need to give him a blue arrow, not a red arrow. So then blue can do this. And I think this will work. I'm a little worried red might call in a new fragment and get in the way before blue has a chance to move in, make the bonds, and leave again. Let's see. So, yeah, that gets rid of the silicon atom in the center. Oh, okay, that does not work. Alrighty. Looks like I might have to double up on the sinks and have blue make this initial bond to connect the arsenic to the whole silicon ring. Okay, well, let's see how it works now, just so I know how to modify it accordingly. I forgot the second sync. That would actually be quite a good help. Yep, and now blue's grabbing onto it too early. So, okay. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah. Think this will work? Again, I'm a little worried about red restarting too quickly. Okay, well, they exchanged the molecule, and nope. Blue if I have him turn before he reaches the quantum tunnel, blue should be a-okay. Cool. So, with that, those were the original tutorials for the quantum tunnel mechanic. And we've completed our first 3 levels of the ResearchNet. So, with that guy out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the fission laser. So, it looks very similar to the fusion laser, but I believe there is no like little crosshair on this side. Or no, or is it like a plus? Hang on. Just bear with me for a second. I know this level has the fusion laser. Yeah, okay. So this one up here is the fusion laser, and it has what looks like a little antenna symbol, I guess, on the left-hand side, and the crosshair on the right. The fission laser has the crosshair on the left and a blank circle on the right. So, with that, I'm clicking so fast because apparently this game interprets scrolling the mouse wheel, clicking no differently than clicking the mouse button. Wish I'd remember that earlier. But, so, alright, let me kind of organize my thoughts really quick. The fusion laser worked by putting the target atom on the right, and then whatever atom on the left was essentially shoved into the one on the right, and the atomic number was the result of the sum of the two. So fusing a hydrogen into a hydrogen gave you a helium. With the fission laser, you want the atom on the left, I believe. And when you trigger the split command, it will be split in half, with the new atom appearing over here on the right. So, actually, let's let blue have the day off just so you can kind of see how it works. So, if I do a little something like this, so red takes the helium atom, and he splits it. Okay. So the atom you want to split goes on the left, and when you actually fire the fission laser at it, half of the atom's atomic number forms a new atom on the right, and the other half is left behind in the Waldo's hands, or just over here on the crosshair if you've put it down. So that is the bare basic of the fission laser. Now over here, I believe we were introduced to... hang on, let me check. Ugh. Can't talk tonight for some reason. So our input is an atom called neptunium, which is atomic number 93. Now you might have noticed something that seems like a problem with the fission laser, in that, well, you can't really split an odd number into two perfectly even halves. So 93 would cut into, I believe, 46.5 if you were to try and divide it by 2. And there is no atom number 46.5. So how does the fission laser handle odd numbers? Over here we have palladium, which is 46, and silver, which is 47. When you split an odd-numbered atom, the atom on the left, yeah, it says right here on the tooltip for the split command, if the target atom is odd, the atom on the left will be one higher than the atom on the right. So, I feel like that was a very complicated and not at all very helpful explanation. Very roundabout way, so I'll just go ahead and show you instead. I actually want him to put it down, then split. There we go. Okay, so here we pick up our odd-numbered atom, and boom, it's split. We get palladium number 46 on the right, and we get silver, which is number 47 on the left. So rather than trying to create an atom that's 46.5, which again doesn't exist, the atom on the left gets the remainder amount, essentially. Yeah, that sounds right. And again, that works with every atom. So if you were to try and split atomic number 3, which I believe is lithium, you would get a helium on the left and a hydrogen on the right. So that's how the game handles odd numbers for the atomic number. It's quite enough rambling on that. Now, this level is going to be kind of tricky, because we get oxygen, which is number 8, but we have to make hydrogen, which is number 1. So we have to split multiple times, and every time we're going to get a little something off to the side that is not going to be, or is going to be kind of I swear I had the term in my head. Not like a waste, but something we'll have to... Huh. No, I don't remember what it was anymore. Now then, this level might take a little bit of time, but just like always, we have to... Wow, I am really not speaking well this episode. I am so sorry if I'm confusing anybody. Just like always, before I paused, we have to call in the input atom so that we have something to work with. Now, I want to split what I'm holding on to. So that will leave a 4 in red's hands and a 4 over here. So he will have to turn on blue. Blue shall be the management guy, I suppose. Blue picks up the 4. I'm only calling it 4 because I don't remember what atomic number 4 is off the top of my head. You should just put it down right there and go back to start. And red simply restarts. Split it again, that will leave a helium in his hands and a helium over here. So now blue has to sort the helium in a different spot. Now, actually, let's move these arrows just slightly so that red can approach split from both directions, or both axes, I suppose. So, ooh, okay. If I try to split the helium while going to the right, I will create 2 hydrogen, but I will then immediately slam one of the hydrogens into the other, which is not good. So... oh, wait. What if I tell Blue to now try exporting from Psi? No, wait, he'll just glide right over that. Dang it. Let's see, I'll need hydrogen to disappear 1, 2, 3 spaces after the sync. 1, 2, 3 spaces. Dang it. Okay. So this theory almost works. I think instead what I'm going to have to do is have red go down and around like this. Oh wait, no, because then the... dang it. There we go. Okay, so this will get into split the first helium. We'll get a hydrogen over here. He'll still have a hydrogen. So then... I guess something like that will work. And I aim to pick up the beryllium. Wait, beryllium? Is beryllium 4? Oh, wow. No idea how I suddenly remembered that. You know what, let's test and make sure that this weird looping spiral sort of deal is going to work. Okay. So now... red grabs the... do I want him to grab the beryllium, or do I want him to grab the helium? Let's have him grab the helium instead. No, don't move the laser. No, don't. There we go. Then I can use some flip-flops to get him to retrace part of his path and go back towards the split from the same angle. This will reuse all of these guys. So that should leave just beryllium behind, if I'm measuring this out correctly. Which it does. Okay. So now I need to figure out how to handle this other beryllium. So how about I have a flip-flop here. Make red grab it, and then we just go right into the loop again. I'll be honest, I really don't have any kind of final design in mind for this. I'm honestly just designing it as I go. Hey, this actually works pretty well. Oh wow, that works very well. And in fact, I put another flip-flop here, and this should get him to restart after processing down the second beryllium atom. Wow, for not having any kind of real plan going into this level, I feel like I solved it pretty fast. It's kind of hard to decipher exactly what it does just by looking at it on the surface, but it seems to be working okay. But yeah, there you go. With those three tutorial levels, we've been introduced to the mechanics of the fission laser, and I really hope that I did not screw up explaining it, because I would really hate to do that with the final mechanic of the game. Let's just go ahead and hit speed 3 just to get the last 2 hydrogen. We need to hit 10, and there we go. So, those are the 6 tutorial levels of the ResearchNet. Everything past Volume 1, Issue 2 has been made by fans. These first 6, the author is Zach, who is the guy that created the game, or led the team that created the game, or whatever, head developer, I guess, is a good way to think of it. I'm sorry if I got your title wrong, by the way. But every puzzle from Volume 1, Issue 3, and beyond is created by a player, and they range from somewhat simple puzzles, I suppose. So let's, dang it, I keep thinking that the scroll wheel will just scroll entirely. Here, that is not a good example of a simple level. Let me look for, here we go. So, they range from simple levels like putting carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas together into methanol, to complicated ones like trying to make this big weird thing, which is apparently called 2-hexene, out of methane radicals and hydrogen. Yep. You will notice the first handful of volumes are all research levels, and yeah, we do not get production levels until Volume 3 was released, and that is because until that point, the only kind of assignments you could create in ResearchNet were research levels, but eventually a game update was released that allowed players to create their own production levels as well. So you'll see here you can, I will go over in more detail how to create your own levels in the next video, but just like the production levels in the game, we have input tanks, we have freighters, you can add recyclers if you want, and you can specify what bonders are available to the players. But that's all stuff for the next, and what will probably be the final level of SpaceChem for a while. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of, I keep doing that, a whole bunch of ResearchNet levels as like individual videos, just because I feel like that would eventually start to get kind of repetitive. There are quite a few interesting ones, like I honestly have not been able to figure out how to solve this guy, for example. Apparently, like, reading which atom is in which spot, and then putting them back together in the proper order. But, yeah, I feel like if I were to try and record multiple videos of ResearchNet levels, they just start to get kind of repetitive after a while. again, not to diminish, not to say that the ResearchNet levels are boring. A lot of them are very cool and very interesting and very clever. But I don't want to drag this series on for any longer than feels appropriate, I suppose. And I feel like once I describe how to, or create a video on how to make your own levels in ResearchNet, that would be a pretty good point to, at the very least, put the series on pause. One thing I would like to do with ResearchNet in the far future is, once I feel comfortable trying to live stream, I would not mind using ResearchNet as a test platform for that. But again, that's not going to happen for a good long while, so don't be expecting a live stream like next week or anything. That's way in the future, like months and months in the future, if that soon. So, with enough rambling from me, those were the original quantum tunnel introduction and the fission laser introduction, and the first 6 levels of ResearchNet. So, with that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all had a great day. I will see you in the next episode, and farewell for now.